Hello, people, and welcome to Finance Skills Hub. Here, we learn, we connect, and we grow. In this short video, we want to explore how to use Power BI's Smart Narrative to create a dynamic commentary in your Power BI reports. In most cases, you can create a report with a lot of charts and visuals, but the meaning can be lost on your users. It helps if you can carry the action point or the summary or the insights in a simple narrative in a paragraph or two, which is responsive to all the slices in your report. And that's what we hope to achieve in this video. So if you're game, join me and let's start this process together. Okay, so we start with a simple sales reports in Power BI desktop. It seeks to compare revenue, cost, profit, actual and budget numbers for selected branches. Now these branches are in a slicer to my left. So if I select any branch, I get to compare their revenue, actual and budget, cost and profit as well. We have 2 years of data, so you can go back in 2022 and in 2023 to compare. Okay, then there's also a revenue trend here that gives us actual revenue for the selected period. Then the final donut chart that shows profit margin, okay, against a certain target. This is all good, but sometimes you want to carry the key points or the key highlights in a summary, also called a narrative. So in Power BI, you can fit it in any space that you want in your visual. For this purpose, we want to create what we call a page level. Page level means that whatever narrative that we put here is responsive to the relevant charts or visuals in this page. Now, this is available in the default visuals. So if I come here and I scroll down all the way to the AI visuals, okay, this is the narrative, also known as the smart narrative. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and then insert this. Okay, so for those who are using a more recent version, you get the option to use Microsoft's Copilot, which is under preview. Basically, that's the same thing. This is AI scanning the relevant charts in your report and then suggesting what the narrative should be, right? But we could also use the custom, okay? So I'll go ahead and then click the custom. So it goes ahead, scans, and then it gives me this narrative. It's not too visible, but I'm going to format it. So once it comes, it's like a regular text box, but just that the text in there is more responsive and dynamic. So you can actually format this using the ellipses here. Okay, so over here, I can choose format. Okay, it gives me the option to format this. I can go to size and style, right? And then activate the background. Okay, so in the background, I can choose to maintain the white background, reduce the transparency. Okay, so I have something like this. Okay, so let's see what we can do. I can highlight the whole of this and then increase the font to about 18 and then bolden it. Okay, so that we can actually see what we have here. So as I indicated, this is responsive to all your slicers. Okay, so if I select any particular slicer, okay, you realize that it updates. So if you pay attention to the narrative, you realize that there are some key values in the narrative that have been highlighted. Okay, so these ones are calculated. You can also create yours and then modify it. So just to give you an example, if you look at this narrative at 57,277, May had the highest actual revenue and was over 6,000% higher, right? All these values are coming from your chart. So 57,000 is here. May is the highest. The percentage calculation has been calculated comparing May and April, right? So everything here is drawn from your chart. Now, if I click directly on it, okay, it tells me that this was automatically generated. So the result is here, the format is here, and then the name of the value is also here by default. Okay, you can use this in your modified narrative, or you can also create yours. So if you want to see the full list of all the automatically calculated values, you can go to review. Okay, under review, you can switch this on. Okay, so this gives you all the automatically calculated ones. right? You can edit them to see the values and then insert them in your modified version, okay? So for our purpose, we want to create our own narrative and then use these values, but create our own dynamic values as well. I'm going to show you how to do this. So first, I'm going to highlight this and then delete, okay? And let me just bring this up a bit. So what we want to give our users is who the top customer was, in which region, the best product, and then the revenue that the customer gave us, right? So the charts are not communicating this, but you can use the smart narrative as long as it's relevant in the charts that are available or the data model, you'll be able to pick it up. So first, let's write our sentence. So in the variable region, so that's the region that has been selected, the top customer was, again, that's also a variable, okay, with a total revenue of another variable. Then I'll proceed and also talk about the top product in the region was that. Okay, so we want to now fill all these in with the dynamic inputs. Okay, so now that we've set the stage for our own narrative, let's put in our dynamic calculations. So first, region, right? So all you need to do is come to this add dynamic value icon. Okay, when you drop it, you have the option to bring your own measures, or you can use natural language queries. That is just asking a question about your data model, right? So here, I'll just put in region. Okay, so you realize that it scans my model, and then when I click on region, the current region I've selected is the Upper West. Okay, so this is what I have. You can name it. So let's name this selected region. Okay, and I'll click save. Okay, so you realize that it now inserts the Upper West region in my narrative. Okay, now let's move on and then fill in the rest. So in the Upper West region, the top customer. So the top customer, again, we can add that dynamic value. So I'll come top customer. So here I'm using just natural language queries. Okay, so the top customer in the selected region is Abdul Rauf, right? So I'll come here, name this top customer, and then I'll save the top customer. Okay, I can get rid of my placeholder. Okay, so with a total revenue, so the total revenue for the top customer will be the actual revenue, right? But you can also filter this if you have other filters. So over here, I'm going to add the actual revenue. Okay, so I bring this here. It gives me 280. So I can name this actual revenue and then save this. So that is the amount the customer brought. And then the top product. Okay, so that's the last one we're doing here. So the top product here. So I'll come here and then put in top product. Okay, so I would add this one as well. Okay, so even with this one, you can modify it as it comes in, okay, to make it align with what you already have, right? So this is what we have, right? And we could even add the second paragraph, right? Now let's see how this works. So let's say at the end of the day, you want this to be parts of your report. Okay, it is dynamic. You want your user to focus on it. So in your presentation, if you click on a particular region, okay, it goes into the region, tells you who the top customer was, the total revenue the customer brought in, and then the top product, right? So I can use this to add another layer to my report and also help summarize whatever I want the user to take away or the key action points. So hopefully you get the idea. There are cases where you have to create your custom measures for situations where things went up. Even use symbols, red and green arrows, to show when things changed in a positive direction or a negative direction. But essentially, the learning is that with smart narrative, you can use the default values to create your own narrative, or you can modify and then create your modified narrative using the natural language queries. right? So hopefully you've learned something. We'll make this Power BI file available and then you can practice. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.
If this video was helpful and you would like to receive more of these videos directly on your WhatsApp, you can send ad to this WhatsApp number. We'll add you to our broadcast list so you receive our videos directly. You can also visit our YouTube channel, Finance Skills Hub. All our old videos are here. Please subscribe for notification of new videos or connect with us on any of these social media handles. Thank you so much for watching.